One of my favorite parts about leading pilgrimages to Rome is showing people the beauty of the church. At the same time, this is often used to criticize the church. Why does the Catholic Church have these big, beautiful churches full of gold and art when they should sell them and give the money to the poor? At first glance, this critique is not that different than Judas's reprimand in John 12:5, when Mary of Bethany comes to anoint Jesus' feet with oil. And Judas says, shouldn't this oil have been sold and the money given to the poor? Now, John does remind us that Judas didn't really care about the poor. Judas was looking to steal the money for himself. But it does raise that question. Why do we have beautiful churches when there are beggars sitting outside of them, when there are people dying of starvation? Shouldn't the church do something about that? Well, the church does do a lot of things about that, of course. But let's look at the critique. Why do we have beautiful churches? Well, first and foremost, we need to remember these churches aren't just meeting places. They're not just gathering spaces like auditoriums. They're places we go to worship God and where God dwells among us. God deserves our best. And so we bring our first fruits to Him. We build churches with the best things we have. Yes, He was born in a manger in Bethlehem, but He also allowed His feet to be anointed with costly oil. We bring the Lord our best. We see it in the Old Testament in Exodus, when God gives specific instructions for the building of the Ark of the Covenant, and He tells them to bring their gold and their silver and their bronze. We see Moses telling the people to make the best of their talents. The women spun the best material. The men brought their gold and their jewels, and they erected the Ark of the Covenant with the best they had. Why? Because this is where God dwelt with His people. This was their place of encountering God. Now, sometimes that's our gold and our silver, or maybe that's the stone from our fields or the wood from our forests. It's our place of encountering heaven. When we walk into a beautiful church, we should leave our earthly realm behind and we should enter heaven. We should leave time and space and enter into the heavenly realm. You know, when we look at the great cathedrals, these were the ways that the people before us used what God had given them to cooperate with the Creator. So God gives us gold and silver and stone and wood. God gives us our intellects. And so what do is we imitate the Creator by building these beautiful buildings to worship Him. The great cathedrals of Chartres and Cologne, St. Peter's in Rome, the Duomo in Florence, these aren't vestiges of some hierarchy looking to hoard gold. They belong to all of us. They are our works of our hands. And anyone, regardless of age or race or wealth, can enter into these places, enjoy the art of Bernini and Michelangelo, and together worship and praise God. And that's a little theology in 3 minutes.